So is this a vampire, bat, dog, scorpion movie? I'm Jackie.
Well, it was more exciting than Paul versus Tyson. I'm Justin.
Together in many places that are fairly well lit. This is Alone in the Dark, and I'm Sam on Stinker Madness.
Stinker Madness. I like it when Sam says Stinker Madness because he sounds like an old scurvy dog. He's been out to sea listening to the podcasts.
Yar, it's driving me nuts.
Okay, great. Well, all right, now it doesn't work anymore.
No.
This is a podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, currently streaming on Amazon Prime from 2006, starring Christian goddamn Slater, Stephen goddamn Dorff, and Tara Reid.
Tara Reid.
And Tara Reid. Alone in the Dark, a IMDb bottom 100 staple directed by Uwe or Owe Boll.
Uwe
Boll. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right there. Jackie, is this the first Uwe Boll movie you've seen? You've seen Kingdom of Sharks, Dungeon Siege, Dragon's Knight's Tale.
We all watched Blubberella.
I didn't see that.
What?
No, that was
I watched
not us.
Blubberella
Yeah, you
with
did.
you two.
No,
You were there,
so.
man.
Was I?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, watch Blubberella. And Dungeon Siege, A King's Tale. What is the fucking name of that movie?
In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale.
Right, 2? You saw that one, right, Jackie, with Burt Reynolds and
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you've toured the Uwe. What else has he got that's bottom 100? Isn't there another one?
That's bottom 100 was just this one.
What about isn't there like Blood Rain and Far Cry? Didn't he do
So
Far Cry
those
2?
didn't make bottom. So he did Far Cry, Blood Rain in the Fight Me period when he was doing video game movies. He did Far Cry, House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark,
Dead.
Blood Rain, and Postal.
Postal. Ooh, God. Jesus.
I'm kind of, well, here's my deal with Uwe is I usually try to put a couple years in between viewing his movies
Smart move.
for the most part. But Postal seems like it could kind of work because the game was hated as much as any game has ever been hated.
Sure.
And he could kind of actually do the same thing with the movie versus what he usually does.
Which is fuck it up, I guess.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, what he was always doing was Germany had a very unique tax shelter. So if you go into Uwe Boll's career, let's start from the beginning. Dr. Uwe Boll, by the way,
God,
BTW.
No kidding. Really?
Yeah, he has a PhD in literature.
How about that?
Which makes it even weirder that he gets so fast and loose with storytelling.
Super weird. Not predictable.
He had started, and he had gotten his PhD at the beginning of his filmmaking career. But from like 94 to 2002 was doing original film ideas and thrillers mostly. There was one called Amkalaf that was in German that these aren't very well received, but they're just budget horror movies, basically, or at least thrillers.
Right.
Backwoods with Patrick Muldoon. One Patrick Muldoon had an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, which up until Rampage came out was the most well-received film he'd ever made. And then he did one called Heart of America right before House of the Dead. So he had already figured out that he could get a 50% return on the tax situation in Germany from shooting the film there. So what would happen is he's like, well, I can get 50% back instantaneously. So you're just cutting the budget in half. And so now your returns don't have to be all that much. And so the only way that he can get into this larger budget, because he wants to make action pictures, that's what he wants to do, is to have some name recognition attached to it. And on the front end of this is when video game franchises are first sort of dipping their toes into the water of the movies. And so he's getting cash back, and he's getting name recognition with some built-in buzz. So now he can start playing with $10 to $20 million per picture, not a few $100,000 to $2 million, say.
Right.
And that's really all he wants, is that 10 to 20 million for his action picture. Everybody else wants something else, but remember that 50% cash back, like it's a fucking gimmick credit card on these things. After the first couple times, it's like this one cost $20 million and it returned 12.7 domestically, which is $2 million instant profit.
Okay.
So why not just do it again if you're the investors, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a handful of these that got made and then so much internet hate because of, this isn't like the game at all. Well, no, it sure as fuck isn't. Far Cry, I was thinking about doing it, but it wasn't nonsensical enough. I kind of watched the first part of Far Cry and I was like, I mean, this isn't the game, but at least there's like an island and there's some stuff here that's kind of like it, whereas this is not at all the same.
Did you play Alone in the Dark, Sam?
No, that
Nor
would be, that was before we had real, that was like 92. We didn't really have our mitts on computers until 93,
no
94.
way. I thought Alone in the Dark was like 2000.
No.
You're kidding. Huh.
That's what I read.
Okay.
I've never played it. So
Yeah,
originally, Alone in the Dark, you got a situation where you can play the game into a bad ending.
Okay.
So that's probably why it has such notoriety, is because it's like if you play the game into the bad ending, then you find out about the good ending, you're going to have to play the fucking game again.
Right. Okay.
And then you can play the game into a bad ending, and you can play the game into an ambiguous ending, but you can't really play the game into a happy ending.
Okay.
And it's like a mansion thing where he does have the character's name. Edward Canby is one of the characters, one of the two playable characters. There was a male and a female playable character that were after the same thing, but and the game probably didn't play different if you were a man or a woman, but the game played different depending on what you did.
Right.
Because there's two completely different endings, but you basically go into a house, you're trying to find a suicide note in a piano, you get up into the attic and you open the piano and then the ghosts come out and then you have to get out of the house. And if you make it out all the way, spoiler alert, and you didn't do everything just right, it's Pirate Ghost. Pirate Ghost
okay.
also.
Okay, all right.
It's the ghost of an evil pirate who's then gotten the powers of the occult to live, and then he's going to possess you. So if you don't do everything just right, you unleash hell onto Earth, kind of, these ghouls fly out of the house. It's really probably a minor Ghostbusters situation, not even a major ghost, but you still feel shitty about it, right?
Guybrush Threepwood could come in there and deal with some pirate ghosts.
Yeah. But if you do everything right, then you make it out of the house and you go into your cab to go back to civilization, but the driver is a zombie.
No!
I'm like, wait, what? The zombie actually drives you back into town?
Hey, he's working for Uber, you know. He's kind of making
whatever.
A little side gig. Does light play into the mechanics at all?
What do you mean light?
Well, like you have a flashlight, like Alan Wake, you know, you got the flashlight and it does stuff and you use it to...
I'm sure it's very influential on games like, I think I've read that it was like a deep, what's the one with the BioShock and Dead Space where you can't fucking see shit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume you can't, I'm making assumptions, but I'm assuming you can't see shit.
Okay.
So it makes it spookier or whatever.
Right.
Whereas I'm just like, well, I don't like this because I can't see shit. Whatever. I'm going to play a game where I can see some shit. Jackie, do you like games where you can't see shit?
No, I sure don't. I actually just give up after a while. Like, I hate the ones where you've got a flashlight so you can only see like a cone of whatever.
Right.
And then my character always gets stuck on like a bookcase or something.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why won't it fucking move?
She
and then I look
see her.
down with my flashlight and it's like, oh, I'm stuck on something. And then I can't figure out how to get my flashlight to look up again. Or I look up too far and I'm staring up at the ceiling and I'm like, shit, I can't get a first-person view again. I don't know what I'm doing.
She's the worst with FPS. And I don't know if she's tried. Did you ever do a Resident Evil game, Jackie?
No.
Okay, all right. So
I tried to play Call of Duty one time with you.
Yeah.
And
didn't work out.
I got stuck in that corner.
Yeah, it didn't work out. So I just shot you a bunch of times.
Yeah. So I could try to restart and try to like walk around and get somebody, and then I got stuck again, and then you were like, maybe this game is not for you.
It's not for you. So if she didn't do Resident Evil, then she's never done any of the third person stuff. So yeah, I don't think she's our
oddly
video game expert.
Enough. This was the main inspiration for the first Resident Evil. The first Alone in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the first Resident Evil wasn't a first-person shooter. It had locked camera views.
Right.
And this had locked camera views of
shoulder.
the game, so you probably could see shit mostly, but I bet it was dark and spooky. Mm-hmm. Versus an FPS where you can't see shit and you've got 3 bullets. Which is like 3.5 hours into BioShock. I've got 3 bullets and I can't see shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. Mm-hmm. And I never played it, and then everyone hated me. They're like, well, you just needed to give it more of a chance. And I was like, 3 hours later, I can't see shit and I have 3 bullets. This is stupid.
Yeah, the low ammo thing is also tough.
Not that I don't, spam bullets everywhere. It's just like, okay, this is too much not playing for me. I'm going to do something that's fun. So anyway, this has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Other than the guy's name is Edward Canby. That's, I think, where the distinctions, there's no pirate ghosts in this movie that
sure aren't.
It's aliens or something. So that's the end of the commonalities between Alone in the Dark, the game, and Alone in the Dark, the movie. The guy that wrote the script had nothing nice to say about the way that it went. And he had such
He wasn't a raving fan of, now just film Doug shooting for the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's like I tried to write a horror picture and Uwe Boll turned it into a complete fucking shit show. And everybody else was like, did you see House of the Dead last year? Because he kind of did the same thing. But it got cash back, so they're doing it again.
Yeah, I think House of the Dead is borderline unviewable.
I had never seen this.
I hadn't either.
I hadn't. So I've seen Blood Rain, mostly just so I could kind of tune out and look at Christina Loken. She's hot.
Sure.
She doesn't do the other thing that the playbook with Uwe Boll is that he's gonna get these cashback situations. He does this through, I think, 2009. 2008 was Far Cry. That was the end. That's the bubble bursting on this. You have companies like Ubisoft come out and say, no, we're not going to do it. Like, I think it was Hideo Kojima does Metal Gear, right? Mm-hmm. So there was the second that video game movies starts happening, the whole internet, even though it's a little young internet, kind of a free internet, a better internet, perhaps. They're all over going, well, if they're going to do a video game movie, it's got to be Metal Gear Solid. And then somebody mentions, well, that Uwe Boll guy can get a video game movie made. And then internet fire starts to the point that Hideo Kojima's like, comes out with a statement that says, it would be impossible for us to work with Uwe Boll. Impossible.
Yes.
Like, if we were to make a movie about Metal Gear, he would not be the person doing this.
No, that's it in a nutshell right there.
Yeah. And then during this whole time when he's doing these video game movies, this is also the fight me period, because he's getting a lot of hate from the people that played the games and liked them or loved them, and for people that have sensible movie tastes also are throwing mud at this guy. So he basically just says, I will fucking fight you. I'll box you 8 rounds. Let's go. And he ends up boxing like 5 guys. Most of them are inconsequential. Nobody that he really wanted to fight bad, like, ever fought him. And then the reviews on how the fight went are sort of like hit or miss too. Like, fight some guy that hasn't seen any of his movies, but pretty sure he's an asshole. Is like, yeah, I guess this was a publicity stunt. That guy kicked the shit out of me. He's a jerk. And then another guy's like, man, his movies are terrible, but he seems like a nice enough guy. Then he knocked me the fuck out and took me to lunch. This was a real boxing match. And he just knocked me the fuck out. But then he was like, come to my beach house. I'll make you lunch. And we talked about it. And I was like, man, your movies are terrible, but this is why. And he's like, okay, thanks. Here's some lunch. And like after he knocks you the fuck out, he's like, okay, well, your feelings are your own. I got to fucking knock your ass out.
That's so weird.
So weird. From a PhD in literature.
Yes, right.
So then in 2009, with his little sort of carnival ride that he went on, which, like, I'm not going to blame him. Like, if I had that, I set that shit up and it worked for, 5 years of just fucking running willy-nilly. Why the fuck not, right? Mm-hmm. He wanted to make action movies. He's making action movies. They're terrible, but whatever. He's got cash too. So in 2009, he does Stoic Rampage and Darfur, which Rampage has 2 critic reviews because apparently everybody was done with them at this point. Mm-hmm. But both those reviews were like, okay, well, even a broken clock is right twice a day. This is actually a pretty good movie. And it has like a 51 on the popcorn meter, which is way higher than 11
way higher.
From the Muldoon picture.
Right.
That's good, I guess. He does, the other part of his thing is that he does like multiple sequels for most of them. There was an Alone in the Dark 2. He produced that. He didn't direct it, but he did 3 of the Blood Rains, 3 of the In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale, shit that are completely unrelated to each other. I think Blood Rain is actually kind of related to each other. And then, but the Name of the King movies don't even have anything to do with each other, let alone themselves. It's
they don't
just
even have
weird.
anything to do with their own titles. So
yeah, no, I mean, because Dungeon Siege was like a fucking strategy game, right?
I don't know.
I never played it.
No.
I'm pretty sure Burt Reynolds wasn't in the game.
Pretty sure he was not. Statham was in that shit, man. The top of his game, Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
Fucking crazy.
Yes.
Farmer.
And then the sequel has like, because he couldn't get Loken back for the Blood Rain movies, so it's somebody else in the next 2. And then it's like Dolph Lundgren in the second Name of the King. And then the guy from Prison Break is in the third one. But they don't have anything to do with each other. And then the third Blood Rain is called Blood Rain the Third Reich. And Blubberella is a shot-to-shot parody of his own fucking movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
With half of the cast.
Yeah.
Still around for it. So, and that's the other thing you notice is that there's like people that are just in his hemisphere that stay there, like Michael Paré. So he can't be that much of a jerk if people continue to work with him all the time. The guy that's the taxi cab driver in this, which was a fun scene, he's the principal actor and star of Rampage, and I think by the third one he's a co-writer. So like people stay in his hemisphere, so he can't be that bad of a guy. The one guy he knocked out took to lunch. So
right.
So, either way, by about 2016.
Stuff,
by about 2016, even though his movies are markedly better for being original works rather than pulling the wool over the eyes of people that had money and then going, hey, here's some money still. And they're like, okay, fine. The bubble bursts on his funding system. And so he pretty much just folds the company and decides to be a restaurateur.
Okay.
Which is interesting because he's like, well, I've been to 120 Michelin star restaurants in my life, and I know what makes a good restaurant. And so he takes all these things that he likes about these restaurants and he puts it into this restaurant called Bauhaus in Vancouver, Canada. And it works like to this day. As of 2020, like Bauhaus was rated as one of the best restaurants in all of Canada and is on world lists of world restaurants, was being like entry for like, oh, you're in Vancouver, this is the restaurant to go to or whatever. Right.
Okay.
But it's interesting that with the restaurant thing, he's like, well, this is what would make a good restaurant, so I'm going to get all those things together and do that rather than when I make a movie, though, I'm not going to do that. Good news, though, Jackie. As of 2024, he's got a movie out, one coming out, and 3 more in the hopper.
Oh, boy.
He's back somehow.
Okay. What's
the next
one?
He sold the restaurant and took the cash for that, and he's going to try again. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know where he got the cash. That's going to be
you got a title?
Tricky.
Title for the movie?
Oh, for the one that came out is... Oh, crap.
Oh, crap. Came prepared.
I did not. No, because the thing that's most notable of him in the last 20 years has been Rampage, which I've still not watched because I'm like, can it be not? And I haven't watched anything of his since we watched Blubberella because I had a really fucking hard time with that
really
movie.
Tough, yeah.
I did not enjoy... Even had I watched The Third Reich and gone, this is a shot-to-shot remake, how interesting an idea. It would have been probably more for me than been like, oh, I had to do that twice kind of, and the second time was really bad. First Shift came out. It's got Gino Anthony Pesci and Kristen Renton.
Oh, yeah.
It's a New York cop movie.
Okay, all right. I'm probably going to skip it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's working again, and then he's got a movie called Run that's going to come out, and then there's apparently 3 in development, but we'll see what happens with any of that.
All right, well, let's get into this because we've got a long ways.
Oh, you don't want to
go.
talk about Christian Slater?
I
got real cliff notes.
No, we're 20 minutes into
Chronicles.
this. You don't think you're going to be able to save those for another Christian Slater movie? You're crazy. You had one shot. You got one guy.
He's going to end up back on this program? I bet you're telling me that we're going to see Tara Reid and Steven Dorff again, too. That's fucking crazy talk.
We might be getting pretty close with the Tara Reid being done with her. There's not a lot of... She shined brightly and burned out quickly.
No, she's still working, so there's always a chance, right?
Yeah. Is she? I don't know. Yeah. Boy,
Yeah, she's still working.
Hey, I got a fun fact about Tara Reid for this movie.
Yes, in fact, I will mention this one cast note
you're gonna steal my thing.
In 2023, she will be appearing as, or no, maybe it's coming up. It hasn't happened yet. President Olivia Wallace in Air Force Z. Okay. Tell me that's not going to be it has a chance. It's got a better than 50-50 chance.
Sounds asylum-y. She did not win the Razzie for this performance.
Nobody did.
Nobody did. This did not win any Razzies. This won the Stinkers and the Golden Turd or whatever it's called. But she did not win the Razzie. She lost out to Jenny McCarthy for some movie I've never even heard of that also won the Razzie that year. So I was surprised. I was like, there's no fucking way anybody did worse than Tara Reid this year. No fucking way. Sure shit, Jenny McCarthy.
Well, I think the nature of the Razzies and the way they vote, there's a bit of it that's more of an unpopularity contest than it was actually, which is the most grotesque film made that year. And around this time, you still have Jenny McCarthy on the fucking TV and magazine covers.
Yeah, she's farting.
She's everywhere, so she could definitely win an unpopularity contest at that point.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting side fact because she's fucking terrible in this. Okay, so let's try to piece this shit together, guys, because the biggest mistake this movie makes is in the first 2 minutes of it with its opening crawl data dump that you probably need to watch 4 times for any of it to sink into because it is huge. It is a huge volume of text that is also being narrated at the same time, which never works because A, you're reading and listening at the same time. You're getting 2 different things. You're reading faster than the narrator or too slow, and it's just a jumble of information. Don't do that. But here's what the best I can do, and correct me if I'm wrong once I finish this up. In 1967, some people found some remnants of a tribe of early civilization called the Abkhai. key, something like
Abacus.
that. Abacus, yeah. And these guys, they were big into like demons and monsters and stuff, and so like they were like, hey, we think they're cool. Let's see if we can like dig down real deep into the earth and like maybe we can find like a gate to hell or something. Oh, sure enough, there it is. We found it. We did it. Let's open it up. So they open it up and they're like, oh, bad idea. I guess they forgot to close the door is what it says. They like the last thing it says is about these guys is they disappeared from all of existence. But then like the next paragraph, it's like, but then now the gate is closed and will it be opened again? And also the government got involved and they've got like this division named Bureau 713. But then like the president was like, paranormal's bullshit, so they shut it down. And now one of those guys, he goes off and he collects a bunch of artifacts and he gets kids and then he tries to like smash kids and monsters together. I don't know where he got the monsters because I thought the gates of hell was closed. But he's like trying to make human monster hybrids in a gold mine.
So now I'm confused again, which is no good because I watched this twice.
Oh boy, Jesus.
I watched it last night and I was like, God damn it. I got up and I was like, what the fuck? And I was looking through my notes and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to skip through this and see these key points. And so I ended up watching it again because all I got was from that scroll was mine workers, monsters underground, mad scientist, government agency. I tried to like reduce that, but then you unreduced it. And then I thought, but there's aliens, right?
Jackie?
Or extra dimensional? Jackie, are they extra dimensional monsters, aliens, or hell monsters?
They're hell monsters.
Hell monsters.
They're hell monsters just based on appearance? But what's all with the constellations and the gateways and shit?
Yep.
It's the upside down.
Okay.
That's extra dimensional, kind of, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That is an extra dimension.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with that. That's what I think is happening here.
So there's just a door. So we've got a portal in the middle, underground, throughout the earth that if you walk through it, you go to another dimension that has monsters in it. And so they walled it off, that portal. Why weren't the monsters just like fucking around before like we even found? Why would humans even exist if monsters were just over there? You know?
Doesn't it say that the only way that they could survive is by joining with the monsters?
Who?
At one point during the dump or the info dump at the beginning?
Who could only survive?
The people that were on Earth at the time that this happened the first time around.
The tribal people? The Abkai?
Yeah, the Abacus. Abakai.
Huh. Okay.
No, they just opened it and then they were like, yeah. And then they came out and ate all of them.
But then how did the gates of hell get
back
closed
in
again?
there?
Well, Bob Gates of Hell guy, his tail accidentally hit the door switch and he was like, oh shit, sorry guys, now we can't get back in and we don't have opposable thumb so we can't turn this thing. So they were trapped.
It says specifically that some of the people, of the ancient people, joined forces with the monsters. It says that.
I think so.
I watched this shit twice.
I think
and I wrote
does.
it down.
And I don't understand it. I just don't understand it at all. It makes no sense. Because later in the film, we see how the gates of hell get opened up, and it's a fucking mechanical switch from like a fucking circuit breaker. It's not ancient and
in
old.
the previous scene have on the computer, and it's got digital action graphics, and then she's like, this is how the Stargate works. And I'm like, wait, extra dimensional or across? So they're aliens
over there, or just
over there?
I don't fucking know, dude. It is a mess. It is a fucking mess.
Fucking either way. So we've got mine workers of ancient times, ancient time mine workers,
right?
So Gimli and shit like that,
right. Yeah.
monsters underground,
found the Balrog,
government agencies, and mad scientists.
Yeah. Gold mine, and gold mine. And also this scroll was added later
because in test screenings, nobody knew what the fuck was going on.
Oh, well, good thing. Good thing we got that all cleared up. I think the opening scroll makes it way more confusing.
It makes it way worse, because before I would have just been like, pass across my eyes, Uwe Boll movie, but it's like, pay attention and try to piece this together. And I'm like, but this doesn't even, the part that you're explaining doesn't make any sense.
In novel format, it's like 30,000 words. It's too much. It's too much. I don't know what's happening. And I was trying to write it down, too, at the same time, so that was double impossible. Anyways, so we got some confusion happening, is what we know. And there's a kid out running around in the woods, and he's being chased because this is one of the kids of Dr. Hansen's. Hutchins. Dr. Hutchins. Dr. Hansen Hutchins. He's the mad doctor that is working in the gold mine, right? That's trying to weld kids to monsters, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is one of his kids. He's got 20 kids at this orphanage that he's doing experiments on by melding them with monsters. I don't know where he got the monsters from still.
The miners of ancient times.
They closed the gates of hell. Somebody closed them because they're not open, Sam. Somebody went down there, shut them down. So where'd he get the monsters? He's just like, he's got a little mail slot. Like, oh, can you send me a little millipede? And they do. No, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And also his motivation doesn't make any fucking sense anyways, so this little kid gets out. He grows up to be Christian Slater. Edward Canby. And he also got a monster put in him, but it's okay because I think where he hid was like a substation for the orphanage, which doesn't make any sense. And he like got electrocuted real bad.
So also in this scene, since I watched it twice, I've made sure to pay attention to this. The nun's like, all of the children are gone except one. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Is he the one that's not gone?
He escaped. So they're taking the kids out of the orphanage. I don't know why. And moving them over there. I don't know why.
To make them into a secret government organization.
Okay.
To chase themselves. The monster children.
Right. So 19 have gone to the place. One escaped into the substation, and that's Edward Canby.
But he was part of that organization per their big dick yelling contest.
Correct.
So he's like, I got lost, but then I like found myself with you guys again, but then I was like, hey, you guys are dicks, so I'm going to fuck off, and you can fuck off. That happens at some point in the pre-diegetic?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. He. And also he had amnesia, Sam. Don't forget he had amnesia. So
having watched this twice in consecutive while awake, because I went to sleep after I watched it. I woke up and I watched it again, and I don't remember a goddamn thing about amnesia.
He says it in the cab. He's like, yeah, I don't know who I was or what happened. Something bad happened. I know it. I know something bad happened to me. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, at 10 years old, he loses his memory.
Uh-huh, because he got electrocuted, like, from a substation. You see where he's hiding. It's one of those, like, coil things that's, like, it hums by the amount of electricity going through it. So, and he's like, oh, yeah, the monster that's attached to me, it looks pretty dead, probably because I got electrocuted when I was a kid. So I think he, like, like latched onto those two humming whatever cones of death that are sitting next to him and zapped the shit out of him. Flew across the room like little Timmy in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
His hair's all standing on end. He's got, soot face from, it's pretty funny. It's comical. All right. Let's see here. He's got amnesia, and he's looking for answers. He's a paranormal detective. He used to be in charge of Bureau 713 after the government said, we're shutting you down, and they became a clandestine organization, I think.
Uh-huh.
So, but then he quit because
they were dicks.
They were dicks. Okay. All right. Okay.
And then he went freelance on being a paranormal detective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he's like Fox Mulder, only more of a loose cannon.
Is his paranormal detecting just about this plot, or does he also like delve into like chupacabras and vampires?
Whatever, right?
The Lazarus Cup.
Yeah, I think he actually says, I don't go back down to Mexico ever because there's chupacabras everywhere.
Fucking everywhere, man.
I don't need that much work.
I can't go to New England. Too many spooky ghosts.
Yeah. Don't ask me if I'm not going back to the Bermuda Triangle. I'll tell you that fucking much.
Bad Yelp review. 2 stars. Okay. So he's like, oh yeah, by the way, Cabby, we're being followed.
Yeah.
Cabby's like, sweet. You want me to ditch him? Fuck yeah, man. This is awesome. So he goes into like ditching Cabby mode and like starts hauling ass. The car behind him starts smashing into him. And Christian Slater's like, go down this alley filled with crowded people and vegetables that ends in a dead end. Okay. And they do.
Yeah.
And they get trapped. And the car smashes into him. Cabby's dead, I assume.
No, he's okay. He says, like, tuck up or whatever. I'm bailing out of this cab. And he just has a bad cab smash. And then he jumps over the collision, which is ridiculous.
It is.
The guy gets out and chases him into an antique shop, I think, or something. And then they throw down. Or no, they fight in the street. And we learn that Christian Slater is like fucking Neo of real life.
Yeah, yeah.
And he punches him through some glass, and we get some circa 2005 shit flying at the camera and sound flying at you, because you can't have a movie without that circa 2005.
Correct.
And then he chases him into the antique shop that he broke the window to with the guy, and they start fighting more. But then the guy beats him up, grabs some shit out of his pocket.
A relic
of some sort. Does this relic come back into play at any point?
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of the pieces of the fucking Erebus.
Yep.
I wrote that down. I found it where I wrote it. Erebus.
Abacus.
And he's like, haha, I've got your relic. So Christian Slater does a backflip kick into the air, grabs it, may as well wink at the camera and the bad guy.
Correct.
And then is like, well, I can't fight you, even though I just punched you through a window, so I'm out of here, and then mugs a cop for his gun.
Yes. And the cop does nothing. He says, hey.
And this is where he's running, and now, Jackie, we go to you because you hate the parkour, and what I think we have here is a parkour vampire.
Yeah, I mean, why get out of the taxi, go up to a landing, and then jump down on top of him, right? And
Classic wrestling move. You got to go up on, climb the cage. Dive on Chris Benoit.
Yeah, I just wanted this fucker to die. And when he got shot the first time, I was like, yes, this is already over. And then, nope. He just keeps coming back for more. I'm like, I hate you so much.
But he's parkouring, and he's getting shot with little to no consequence. So is he a vampire?
No.
Why not?
Because he's not, he's not a bloodsucker. He's one of the kids.
It's in daytime.
Yeah.
So he's a rogue agent?
No, okay. So I got several problems here with this guy that aren't what he is. I know what he is. I don't know what that means, but he gets shot in the heart twice, right in the fucking chest. It blows out the back. He's fucking dead if he's a person. But then what Christian Slater does is he gets on a conveyor belt and there's like a spike below him or something. So he does the leg kick thing and the guy flies over the top, lands on the spike through the left side of his chest where the heart is not. It's just lung material, right? And that is what kills him. But later, when his cohorts start dying, they're just getting shot in the heart and dying.
So I think I might have just put something together. Later on in the movie, he's going to like just wander into his old office and start talking to one of his science buds. Mm-hmm. And that guy is dissecting somebody. Is this guy the guy that he's dissecting? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's how he dies. It was a 1 in a million shot where the symbiote got cut in half.
Oh, it got cut in half by the spike, even though it was nowhere near his spine.
And that officially took 2 consecutive viewings and a conversation to figure out.
Okay, that's what... If he just shot it so that the actual puncture came out of the middle of his chest, I would have been fine. But it was clearly on one side of his body, nowhere near his spine where the puncture was. That's why I was like, that doesn't fucking make any sense. He got shot a bunch of times in the heart, and he's fine. Whatever. Okay, so that guy's dead. And let's see here. Where are we at? You also forgot to mention that Christian Slater, when he's shooting, he's doing it cool style. Like, super
and that
cool.
we get to ride the bullet.
Yeah.
And rather than just shooting him, for effect, he shoots a block of ice out of the way of his next bullet and then shoots where the block of ice was to hit him.
Get out of my way, stupid. Stupid ice.
Yeah. Stupid ice.
Chill out, ice. Cool
hey,
party.
Ice, do you like 9mm bullets? No? Okay, thanks for getting out of the way.
All right. Cut to Tara Reid. She is a somebody of some sort.
She's the assistant curator.
Yeah. She's also an archaeologist.
Big time. But she's not Indiana Jones of archaeology. She is working at a museum and curating artifacts.
She's Indiana Jones's office lady.
Yeah. She's not qualified to fight monsters by any means, or really know anything.
Which apparently Uwe Boll was like, I don't want these people. He wanted Christian Bale and Jessica Alba. And he wanted the actress to do a nude scene, which Alba wouldn't have done either. But he was like, you got to do the nude scene. And she's like, I have it stipulated in my contract that I'm not doing nude scenes. And then he dresses her up to make her look like she's smart so that he can be like, all right, now take it off, baby. What?
Also, on Amazon...
Come on, they got her to take off one sleeve of her shirt.
Yeah, ooh. On Amazon Prime, the little things that comes up and says why it's rated R, it said sexual content.
Yeah.
I didn't see...
They cut it out. So this movie has got... They usually, after they release the unrated, which was a huge deal in the 2000s and 2010s. Unrated! Oh my God, we're going to put back 8 minutes of fucking footage, and some of it might be boobs and gore. This has been cut like 4 or 5 times, which is weird that they would go back and cut it again. But the full director's cut had the sex scene, and then later he decided we should just take that out. So they just took that whole scene out again, even though this is the semi-extended version.
Huh. Okay, good.
I guess it didn't make sense.
Would not have worked or helped in any manner. Yeah. Okay, so elsewhere, some guy, this is Hutchins, he's on a ship, and he has like one of those James Cam submarines or something. Like, we found this thing, and they haul it up, and it's like a crate that's made out of gold. And he's like, okay, I've got the thing that I was looking for. And the guy, the ship captain, I can only assume that's who he is, or maybe he's his business partner. I don't fucking know.
He's the ship captain. According to the name of the character, it's Captain Chernick.
Okay. Chernick also is like, well, if it's made out of gold, the stuff inside's got to be really made out of gold. So I'm going to pop this open. And Hutchins is like, no, you can't open it. And I stop to go, then why did you get it?
Why?
If you
can't open it here.
On the boat? On the boat.
Yeah, he's got a better place to open it.
Cleveland?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Anyways, it seems like it works out for him because after the guy opens the crate, Hutchins just runs into like the little cabin, locks the door, and then he comes out later. Everybody's all dead and bloodied, and he's like, Jesus. And then he pops a little secret panel in the gold crate, and there is another piece of the relic that Christian Slater had. So you had to open it up anyways, bud. And what was in there, we never see.
No, but Christian Slater, and this I only noticed the second time, he feels it when the crate opens, too. He
does. Ugh. Yes. And that's what activates the other zombie kids who have grown up. They all get activated by the crate opening. But if the crate opening activated those guys, what was with the bald dude?
The bald dude who also has a name in the script?
Okay.
James Pinkerton? Why would you give that guy such an elaborate name?
Yeah, no shit.
Unless Christian Slater is going to be like, I know you, James Pinkerton, now die.
Why was he attacking Christian Slater?
Why indeed? Was he hired by the stuffy guy? So the stuffy guy doesn't run Project 17330. What is the name of the
713.
thing? 713. Does he run it or is...
Hutchins? No. Hutchins is he's the gold mine guy. He has nothing to do with 713. Stephen Dorff runs it.
Yeah, he's Iowa Smith or whatever.
Commander Burke. So James Pinkerton he can't be hired. These are zombies. They're no longer human. They're being controlled by the symbiote, Sam. You can't, I'll take a job to go kill that guy.
But then what the fuck? So if you control the symbiote, you get parkour vampire powers. But if the symbiote controls you, you're just a fast zombie?
Yeah, I think he's just a fast zombie.
No, because he wasn't very zombified.
He wasn't. He was actually pretty, he was driving a car.
He takes his sunglasses off to see things better,
true.
Like a reasoning sentient being.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense at all. Why? Yeah, okay. So now the rest of the 19, now there's 18, have been activated, unless some of them died from drunk driving or, maybe childhood cancer or something like that. Maybe
choked on an Allen later.
Yeah. Maybe the numbers are a little thinner because they never give us a clear cut. But anyways, at least 2 of them are not attacking Christian Slater right now, because one of them is Christian Slater, and the other one fell on a ice bike or something. Okay,
then I don't get this. Then they're the rest of his orphanage brethren.
Uh-huh.
Isn't Stephen Dorff one of his orphanage brethren?
He is not.
How they thought they talked about that later.
No, he worked his way up.
He worked his way up.
Climbed the corporate ladder, Sam.
But so that's what I don't understand. If the 747 or whatever it is like the kids have been purposed to be this clandestine organization, would make more sense than they're just still being sort of held captive, but now they're zombies.
I don't think that they are the kids were ever part of 713. I think Hutchins was trying to make them to
is 713 713 is after this Lionel Hutchins guy.
Yes.
And he has a museum, but he also has a secret prison of 20-somethings.
Yes, in a gold mine. Or an orphanage.
Okay. What do they do during the day? Do they mine?
Why wouldn't you do everything during the day? The whole thing should be done during the day. But instead they're like, nope, we got to wait till night, so there's drama. Because these monsters, there's a guy, he works at the morgue, he's cutting up the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, we know all about these things. They're called Xenos. They hate light, and they hate light so much that they've evolved to like shut down electrical signals. So the further away you get from the electrical source, the dimmer lights will be. So that's why you see flickering in the movie of the lights. They're shutting it down with their soul power. But flashlights will still work pretty good. And also guns that have flashlights on them because it looks cool. That's why we left that mechanic in the movie. But yeah, so don't go out at night.
But so if Christian Slater is one of the first orphanage experiment children, and Tara Reid is his girlfriend, and he's met her boss, wouldn't he put it together who that guy is?
Hey, no, because he's got amnesia.
And that guy's like,
whoo!
Oh shit, he's got me. And then he's like, he doesn't know, he must have amnesia. Well, I'm just going to see how this plays out.
But then I'm going to send a guy to attack him after he lands in the city. Because wherever this takes place it's never declared. It's just the city. He lands at the airport. We don't know where he was before.
So, okay, so what happens is he's not really gainfully employed.
No, I don't think there's a lot of money
as a
in
paranormal detective. He just meets this girl and he's like, I like your business. Let's go out on a date. I'm going to make out on your face.
Right.
And she's like, you're great, Christian Slater. And then she's like, this is my boss. And he's like, oh shit, it's one of the escaped kids.
The jig is up.
But he doesn't recognize him. And from that moment forward, Christian Slater is like, I'm a paranormal detective, but what he's actually doing is just repeatedly thwarting this man's attempts to kill him.
Yes, that's it.
And then he's like, oh, your boyfriend's missing again. So weird. This has been happening for like 12 years. I know, it's so weird. Oh, God damn it, he's back. Yay, your boyfriend's back.
Okay. God, I think we could skip ahead quite a bit on my notes because we covered a lot of territory.
The monster kills the fucking doofus security guard.
Yes, the security guard scene. Okay, yeah. And hold on. He goes to Tara Reid. God, she stinks is my note. we gotta really put that in there. She's fucking terrible.
She wasn't doing worse than the other two.
She was way worse, Sam. Jackie, help me.
Really?
Who's the worst? Was Tara Reid worse?
Yeah,
she was bad, Sam.
She was really hard to watch in this movie. It just, every time she delivered a line, she looked like she was super high.
And she might have been.
Mumbling.
And mumbly, like somebody had to tell her the line and they're like, okay, now say it. And she was like, okay, now say it. And they were like, no. Say the line.
I thought that she was 10% under consistently where she should have been. I thought Christian Slater was in a 10% range of 5% over or 5% under.
That's where I like Christian Slater.
And then I thought Stiffendorf was like 17% over where he should have been the entire time.
That's where I like Stiffendorf too.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this
is where I like Tara Reid apparently, just laying there like she doesn't know what's going on.
That's weird. Because that's exactly what she was like. She was just laying there. She didn't know what was going on. Huh? I'd read my lines if I knew how to read. Okay, so he goes to the orphanage, and the nun there's like, oh, yeah, here, let me give you some files on the kids that went missing that are also monsters, because we keep those. And he's like, oh, my God, all these people are missing. Damn it. So then he goes to Tara Reid, and he's like, here, check out this relic thing. And she's like, whoa. But then the lights start flickering in the museum. And she runs, we got to say that she runs it through software that, like, does 2000s computer bullshit. It's just the most
she's like,
bullshit thing.
Hold on for a minute. This computer does stuff.
It like does the sound, like as the graphics change on the screen. God, it sucks. I hate that shit. So lights start flickering in the museum, and security guards looking around, And he's like, oh, and then the monsters, let's get into them because they are dog-esque, but also scorpion-esque. They have a tail. The tail has a stinger.
So they show the monsters on a screen later, and they look like alligator. They're a little creature from the Black Lagoon, only hunched over.
Yeah.
They've got an alligator tail, but they're slender. When you see it on screen the first time when it kills the security guard, when it stands up, it looks like a Sangheili from Halo.
I was thinking that a little as well. A little bit of jackal. They don't move like jackals. They can walk. They can stand on 2 legs, but they can also run on 4. And they've got, hey, Halo, they've got a fucking cloaking device.
Yes.
The only thing they're missing is an energy sword. I think that he stole a lot from fucking Halo here.
There's more Halo and Doom than there is Alone in the Dark, for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. It's pretty egregious. So they find the body, and then they hear the monster, and they start running down this hallway into a closet. The monster's about to break in, but then 713 swings in from the roof and starts shooting shit up.
We have to go. So we just talked about he's ripping off. And he could be not even doing it on purpose. Nathan Drake is already a video game thing, right?
2008. He was PS3. 5. When was the PS3? Was it 2005? Seems early. Because
Christian Slater is Nathan Drake.
No, in this? No, he's not.
He's dressed like him.
No, he's not. He's dressed like a vampire hunter. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Nathan Drake is dressed like an adventurer, like a 20s, like what's his nuts from The Mummy? Cool guy.
Brendan Fraser.
He's dressed like Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. That's what Nathan Drake
so
is
not the overcoat, the more tailored coat.
No, he's Christian Slater's dressed like a vampire hunter. Like Devil May Cry, maybe. That's what he's dressed like.
Sure, there you are.
Okay.
Either way, it's a video game that's not this one.
Yeah. He's not dressed like a person. He's dressed like a video game character, for sure. So they find the body. Oh, yeah, we already did that part. They swing in. They start shooting up the monster. It's like, owie, I can get damaged by bullets, but that other guy can't, even though, I'm like when the xenomorph sprays out of your body and eats the dog and then eats some, more people and gets really big. I'm like that instead of the face sucker. So I should be more powerful and more bullet spongy than a guy that's got one of me inside of him.
Yeah.
But I'm actually kind of a little bitch. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't even use its cloaking device against these guys. It just stands there and gets shot and it's dead. It sucks. Then Steffendorf, Commander Burke comes in and he's like, hey, what are you doing here, Edward, my former boss? And Edward's like, oh, yeah, you're a dick. Suck it. And Dorf is like, get the hell out of here. Oh, yeah, well, not before I give you a bear hug. And, ew, that's gross. Get this man out of here. Ha ha ha. He doesn't realize the bear hug was a trick to steal his badge. Suck it, Danny Ocean. I'm good. I don't know what he needs the badge for. I guess to go to the morgue. That's the only time he uses it.
He goes back to 713, and that's when he goes in and he sees the bug that's attached to
the morgue.
Pinkerton's back.
That's the morgue.
Yeah.
That's all he uses it for?
Yeah.
That's a scientist thing, yeah.
That sucks. Why not get into the computers and be like, whoa, I learned all about everything.
And then the scientist bud is like, oh, hey, guy who's not supposed to be here with friends. I'm going to tell you everything.
Yeah, my old boss. Wait, if you're my old boss, shouldn't you already know everything? From that time?
No, he's just bored from being stuck in science all the time. And he's like, I know you're not supposed to be here, but nobody comes to visit me, so I'm going to tell you everything. Why does Christian
Slater not know everything that this guy knows? He's the boss.
Because he just got there. But he was the boss 12 years ago when he met this girl and then started having to thwart the attempts on his own life.
Okay. So this is new stuff. Okay. Well, you could have called and could have had a whole conversation of this about this in the last 12 years that I wasn't your boss. Whatever. Yeah, so this guy's got millipedes on him, and his Christian Slater's is dead because he got electrocuted. Meanwhile, Dr. Hutchins, he has a monster in a cage, and he steals its blood, and then he injects the blood into himself. And that never materializes at all as anything. That never matters anywhere in this movie, right?
What happened? Okay, well, I don't think so, but don't let me forget to ask a question about this guy for later.
I will.
Because later he's going to do something, and I think he just kind of disappears from the movie.
That's why we have pens. You know, you can write notes so that you can ask yourself later, because I am not going to remind you.
There's going to be other confusing things, and it might get lost in the wash.
Okay, so the Morgue guy, he knows all about him. I already covered that. And he gives Christian Slater light-up bullets, and that never goes anywhere.
Because if you were alone in the dark, you'd need light bullets.
Yeah, like, because they're bullets that shoot light, or phosphorus bullets or something like that. Oh, they aren't going to like these when they go up their ass. But then that
Tracer
never
bullets?
happens. Never happen. Nothing happens at all with that. Sucks. Tara Reid, she goes by Edward's place, and he's taking a nap. And so she's like, oh, well, we're going to cut the sex scene that I'm about to have. So instead, I'm going to look at these relics of his on his computer that has bullshit software. Meanwhile, across town, the Morgue guy, he gets told by by Stephen Dorff, to give me everything you got on Christian Slater. Well, he was our boss, and that's pretty much it. Okay, I guess you could go home now. Thanks for that. So the guy goes home, and he's like, oh, Wendy, what are we having? And she's like, I'm making burritos. And he's like, God, I love burrito night in this house. How long till dinner is ready, Wendy? Wendy? Darling, where are you? Where are my burritos? Wendy didn't make it. Hutchins has killed her, and now Hutchins puts a millipede in the Morgue guy. So now he's on.
Does that go anywhere?
Yeah, he comes back in the movie. He actually does show up and dies. Promptly.
So not really?
Not really. It sort of does something. Okay, so so meanwhile at Eddie's, the lights are flickering. But then after she does some more computer stuff, and she's like, there it is. We've pinpointed the location. Of what?
But if he's got himself injected, and now he's putting these things in people, this is just body snatchers then, right?
It's not. This is Alone in the Dark, Sam. Quit trying to save Huey's ass. This is his shit. He's not borrowing.
But they're taking a hard body snatchers turn.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It's body snatchers. Yep. Quite a bit. Okay, we've pinpointed the location. They never explain what the pinpointing it is, or how they even got it, or what they've pinpointed. Whatever.
With action typing.
I think it's the mine. They've pinpointed the mine, but how they got there, I don't know. And also, I thought they knew where the mine was because of the opening crawl. Whatever.
They're like, we did have suspicion about this mine that didn't have miners. Mm-hmm. And it's turned out to be very suspicious.
It had a doctor and a bunch of orphan children in it, actually.
Yeah.
They weren't mining for gold, the orphan children. This isn't Africa, you know what I mean? No, they were monster children. They were horrific zombie experiments.
Well, now they're 20-somethings with questionable haircuts, and they're just listening to Creed all day.
My God, I'd rather be a mindless zombie than listen to Creed.
Well, we are Section 7401K, so when we're done saving the world, we're definitely shutting that shit down.
Thank God for 713. Okay, so now there's a zombie attack there because I guess they
Because zombies.
Because zombies, they can read they're getting close on the computer. They've pinpointed our location. Attack them.
Are these the children?
Yes.
So he has raised children from an orphanage for 20 to 30 years so that they can just like die indignantly. Like,
they are awful compared to bald guy at the beginning. They're terrible.
Yes.
They are just like they will kill a guy. They're extremely good at the neck breaker. Like they just run up to a guy, neck break, neck break, neck break. But then as soon as they turn around from the neck break, there's a guy shooting them. Like they'll run past a guy who's got a gun, don't break his neck to get that guy that's not shooting at him, break that guy's neck, and then they get shot by the first guy. They're fucking awful.
So is it like, are the tracer bullets not just for action effect? They're to denote that they've got the phosphorus in them and that's why they're dying so easily?
Oh my God. But then why does 713 have so like they're killing the shit out of him?
Because that's
too?
where he got it was from 713.
I guess that's true. Okay. And so that's what
they just got.
I thought the whole strobe thing was just because Uwe Boll was being an asshole.
I think he was doing that, but those are tracers so that they kill the people.
All right, he did cover his tracks there because it's so bad in like 2006 editing and like shitty schmomsby song comes on. The yeah, you like violence. That type of
there
crap.
Was a whole record company that like gave the film $30,000 to get their library included into the soundtrack. I guess.
Right. What was that? The one with Rob Zombie's kid. Wasn't it his kid?
His brother. Wasn't there a band? It's either Static X was Wayne Static. It was Power Man 5000.
Power Man 5000. Yeah, like shitty power. It wasn't even shitty Rob Zombie. It was shitty Power Man 5000. Yeah.
Or Static X or one of those. I don't remember.
They're attacking you. Yeah. That kind of crap. All to the backdrop of strobe light effect phosphorus bullets is what's happening.
Yes.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Can't see shit.
Yeah, you can't see shit. The monster, he shows up too, and they shoot the shit out of it, and he turns into dust. What? Dust cloud? Okay. We'll fast it, but that doesn't get explained at all.
No.
See here. The rest of the zombies attack. There's a bunch of people dead. The zombies are all dead. Zombie children. And then they get called to the gold mine. See, 713 doesn't even need them to pinpoint the location. There's just a lady over the radio that calls it, go to the gold mine. We've got information there that you need to investigate. Send all troops to the gold mine. And they're like, pack it up. At Christian Slater's house. Apartment. Why are we here?
They're just, I can't even really tell where they are.
It's Christian Slater's place.
It's a warehouse, though.
He lives in a warehouse.
Why not?
He's big on boxes and lamps. That's what he's into. So they get to the gold mine, secure the perimeter, and they've got like auto turrets. Start up the generator, because I think that they're trying to like get bright halogen lights all over the place to like, we're melting. Which, like, if you're gonna have them be weak to light, actually have them be weak to light in one scene, like then have them fuck up your shit after that. There's too many of them, whatever. I don't know, but we never see them like light. Then there's Marco, sweet Marco. All right, we're going in. Marco, stand over there in that thing that's a circle. Okay, what do I do if I jump? Ah!
He just falls in a hole.
Marco!
Well, what's weird is that he doesn't just fall in a hole. He falls into his death on spikes.
Yeah, there's spikes down there.
And then they're like, we got to go retrieve the body. Like,
no, they just
you
say,
could do that later.
They just say, we got to get down there. They don't even say what the point of getting down there is. We got to get down there. To get Marco? Or is that like why we're here is down there? And then they like rappel down and Christian Slater's
like, hey,
There's a ladder.
Marco had the right idea, but let's do it with a little less ambition.
I'm just gonna take the ladder, guys. It's cool. Outside, they got incoming, and there's too many of them. There's a shot of Dr. Hutchins like waving his hands, and monsters just running through the woods.
Okay, so the monsters are coming from where?
Dr. Hutchins brought them in his
from where?
His Buick.
Yeah, he drops them off in the forest and is like,
because
run
they're
free, my little
trying
babies.
to open the door to these monsters, but there already seems to be a wave. Quite a bit of these things already just sort of running about. All willy-nilly.
They're not the children. The children didn't become xenomorphs.
No.
They're all dead from becoming zombies. Shitty zombies. Yeah. These are the monsters that are behind a locked door.
And there's a lot of them.
Like 50? 100?
Thousands.
I don't think there's thousands. That's insane, Sam.
Because no, there has to be, because if there's 100, the machine guns that they've got will put them. That's short work.
Okay.
With the amount of firepower that they have, 100 charging a fortified location's like, oh shit, it's getting hot. All right. Do we need to reload? Or is there more? Like, there's 3 minutes of solid, this is fucked up, but then they're all dead with 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
There has to be thousands.
Okay. I'll split the difference with you. There's 500 of them.
500, and they're,
really
not
upset.
Coming in a single wave. They're hard to see. It's dark. Nobody's alone, but it is dark.
Well, that's where the Moore guy comes back in, is he's commanded to go take out the generator, because they're like, try to fire up the generator so that they could get those lights going. But then he's like, and he pulls the guy's grenade and then hugs him. I got you. And blows up the generator and the Moore guy.
I'm snatching your body to make you a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
You could have done that with anybody. Why him?
Because he was by the generator.
Well, no, but like, you went to his house on burrito night and snatched his body. He could have just grabbed anybody a lot more easily.
That guy who was in charge of generators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's be realistic here. He doesn't like that guy's wife. She always ruins Christmas parties. There's a chance he might not die, and he's an okay guy. But really, it's he doesn't like her.
Yeah, why'd you kill Sweet Barbara, or whatever the fuck I made up her name as? Sweet Barbara, I will avenge you! And no more burritos. Okay, we got so the crew climbs down the tunnel. It's booby trapped. One of those like Indiana Jones style things comes down and closes off the tunnel that they climb down behind them. Don't know why. So now I guess they're trapped, which does not work later. Tara Reid, she's wandering around. It's really boring in this section. They're just wandering around looking at stuff. Guys upstairs are getting killed and nobody cares. Tara Reid, she finds a message and she's like, it's from the abacus, and it says, if you've already made it this far, you're fucked. Does it say you're fucked? She's like, no, it says you're fucked.
It's like written out. See, it's got little dots.
You're fucked. You gotta say it says, in quote, speech style, Valley Girl, you're fucked.
That's fact.
It's a fact. Now there's snake monsters down there.
So what's the sand snake deal? Where do these
come from?
So this is like when they're little baby snakes.
I thought they were millipedes that go under people's backs.
No, these are like, if they don't find a host, then they get to be about this size, and they're cruising around in the sand, and then they become the attack dog monster things. So this one is just pissed because this soldier is a day late and $1 short, and he knows he's not going to be able to get into her mouth, so he just bites her in the leg instead. Like, take that, bitch.
And then just, like, doesn't like chew her leg off or anything like that. it just bites her and then hops back into the sand. It's really stupid. And then she fucking dies from it. Like, I don't know if it's implied that it's poison. Nobody says anything. It's just she's dead from a bite in the leg.
Dead.
Huh.
Mystic snakes that are not behind the door.
That are not behind the door. Guess they can't climb the ladder. I don't know. So then they find a concrete wall, and they're like, we're not the first that have been down here. You didn't think that...
There was writing that said you're fucked.
There's a ladder. It's pretty strong, well-built ladder. I'm assuming it's steel. Climb down it. Yeah, okay. They're like, blow the concrete wall. Kaboom. They blow it up. Oh, yeah. I got a note here. Oh, no. Miles is dead. Who's Miles? Because they milked this guy named Miles forever. He's the last one standing upstairs. He's got put in charge, and he's like, gets a huge amount of screen time, and you're like following Miles' journey while fighting monsters, and then he's dead, and you're like, yeah, but who was Miles? He didn't have any lines. Miles?
He was the guy that was guarding the back of the Jeep for no reason, because he had the lady was like, we're running low on ammo. He's like, just get up to high ground. I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
Take care of what, Miles?
Standing here.
Take care of dying alone by this Jeep.
But he doesn't.
I was alone in the dark.
He follows her up the stairs.
Miles was alone in the dark, though.
Yeah, he was alone in the dark. That's true. And then he follows her up the stairs to get together in the sort of dark, but her head came open and she didn't make it.
Came open.
She was still alive with her brains out. I don't know about that, Uwe. That didn't really work out for me. And then he goes down in like subway car section warehouse and has a whole scene where he gets like blood spraying everywhere. No! And you're like, Miles. No. Fuck was
they get on the comms. Is Miles still by the Jeep? No, he is exploding in blood.
Who's Miles?
Down here. Okay. Why is he down there? He was supposed to stay by the Jeep.
Downstairs.
We're not sure.
They find the operating room for where they put the millipedes in the kids. And they're like, oh, hey, see, I was here. Okay, now it all makes sense. Even though I was the director of this department, and I probably could have pieced it together after I knew that there was monsters, and that guy had a millipede, who I knew had a millipede on his back, and it controlled him, and then we scanned it, and there was one inside me, but it was dead because I got electrocuted. I probably could have put all that together, but now that I'm here and I see these tables of my name, now I really put it together. Okay, whatever. Then they find a secret chamber that's got, like I said, an electric-style circuit breaker, opener, lever, and then it's got a keyhole that the relic fits into. Christian Slater's like, should I do it? Tara Reid's like, I don't think you should do it, because on account of the you're fucked thing. And he's like, yeah, it's good call. I won't do that. But then Hutchins shows up out of nowhere, shoots the last man that they're with, and he's like, give me the relic. And they're like, how did you get here?
Where did you come from?
The way is shut. We cannot get out. They are coming.
He was just down there the whole time waiting.
No, he wasn't. He was upstairs going, run, my minions. I brought you in my Buick. How? He couldn't have got down there.
There's a second door where they all came from in the first place.
Fucking shoot his ass and leave, and the movie's fucking over.
Because he's not like pointing his gun right at him. He's like just shooting willy-nilly, and they don't just, shoot him.
Stephen Dorff chucks a knife into him later. Like, this is not a big issue. I don't even need a gun. But they're like, oh no, don't open the door. You're going to open up the door and let the monsters out. He's like, I don't know if you guys have been upstairs. There's a lot of body parts everywhere. Because I already had monsters from the time that the abacus opened up the door, and then they forgot to close it on account of their extinction. So I'm actually the one that came down here and built this brick wall to close it off. I'm the only one that could have built a brick wall around my secret lab. So
there's a laboratory there.
I actually am the one that has stopped them from invading Earth.
Why didn't he try dynamite?
To, like, blow up the door?
Yeah.
Why did any of it? Okay, save it. We're almost there. So he opens up the door right as Steffendorf hits him with the knife. He's dead, but it's too late. Like, he couldn't have done that a second ago. So they go inside. There's a giant cavern. It's filled with the monsters. They're all over the place, and they're like, nope, let's get out of here. They run out, and they get to the ladder that is a second ladder that they knew.
It's a ladder.
This is how Hutchins got in, but how did they know that this existed? The second
I thought they were just running willy-nilly, and they're like, hey, there's a ladder.
Hey, okay, all right. And Burke is like, wait, hold on. I got to blow him up. You had bombs to blow
this
him up?
Whole time.
Okay, didn't know that.
If you had these, you could have just set those there on the timer, and you'd be fine right now.
Right.
By the way.
Why didn't you?
No, I got to save yourselves with me. Damn it. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hey.
Bye.
Don't forget, if you run past that sign, it's going to say, you're fucked.
You're fucked. The sign was right. You're fucked.
I'm so drunk. No, it says that. It says I'm so drunk. And I am. I got barf in my hair. Poor sweet Tara Reid. God, the world picks on her. But man, she deserves it. She sucks so bad. Okay, so I got to go back. It's too far away. I got to go back and blow it up. So he runs back there, and Ed and Tara Reid, they get out of a cellar door that's outside the orphanage. Wait, the orphanage is also next to the gold mine? So, like, we can't find these kids that have escaped or that have gone missing from the orphanage. We never thought to check the gold mine.
Next door.
It's like right there.
713 has not been doing their homework.
Yeah, no. All right. So Burke lights off a fireball and he like dives. It, I think, kills all the monsters.
Or at least closes the door. It blows up.
It's a giant fireball. And then he the fireball so much that it goes through the tunnel, up the ladder, and blows out the fucking cellar door of the orphanage just in time for them to get by. And then Burke like is right there, and he like stands up and he like dusts his sleeves off, and he's like, "Whew, close one." No, you're dead.
But yeah, the explosion, sure, the fire shoots out through the tunnels, but like on the other side of the giant cavernous Infinity Monsters area, it was probably just like a propane poof, like into the side of it.
Yeah,
like, I don't
think it
just
did much.
Sealed it, and those monsters are bad at digging.
But he's like slapping his hands together. Well, that takes care of that.
Sure does.
Monsters are dead. I did it. I don't think you did. I think you actually just killed yourself, dumb shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of killing themselves, the nun from the beginning of the movie, she has killed herself for undisclosed reasons. And
well, don't you think that it was going to come out like pretty soon that
what's going to come out
responsible? That when they start investigating that, hey, all of these kids, their only one connection is that they were in this orphanage together.
Who's going to investigate?
713.
They're dead.
713.
They're all dead.
They're all fucking dead. Except for Steffendorf. There's no 713 anymore. And
also, like, the Catholic Church is already in hotter water.
Yeah. Bigger fish. What are you going to do? Oh, I guess they can tell Alex Jones, you know, hey, it turns out there was lizard people under the earth. But that's it. So, yeah, why did she kill herself? Also, the new orphanage children are gone again as well. Where'd they go?
They got shot because they were zombies.
No,
but there's new children?
Yeah, the orphanage was full. When he goes back to like, hey, can I have the files? There's kids running around all over the place. Now they're gone.
What? Well, because everybody's gone.
Everybody is gone?
Except for dead bodies.
What dead bodies?
So the nun's dead body's still around,
That
right?
dead body, but nobody else. They walk through the city.
Nobody else.
A little thing on the screen. City has been evacuated. What?
Does the city evacuate, or just people disappeared because of opening the door?
It says evacuated on screen. There's a little...
Okay.
2:32 a.m. City evacuated.
So they're not just alone in the city? So what the fuck is the point of the overhead shot where they're just like wandering around like, oh my God, what do we do now?
I don't know because
they should just go loot some shit. That's what I think.
Oh, nice. Nice, Jackie. Nice. Playing right into the Kyle Rittenhouse's hands of the world. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get some freedom. You go looting shit, huh? Yeah. What are you going to do with that TV that you just stole there, Jackie?
Probably put it in the guest room so that Sam has a more enjoyable time when he comes to
there's no
visit.
power. The city has been evacuated.
That doesn't mean there's no power.
Who's running the power
Not
plant?
like Charles ran over to the power thing. It was like, well, if we're evacuating, and he turned everything off.
I think it just runs on its own.
The beer taps still work, so they're just at the nearest. They're just
I would
face
go to the
down.
pub. I would loot the pub. Okay, you're right,
Yeah.
Jackie. I'd loot the pub.
Just figure out what I owe you on that one. Can't be that much. I can only one man. I can only drink so much.
I would also leave a note. I wouldn't pay right then, but I would leave a note like I drank a bunch. So it's not. Is that
Dumb
looting?
and Dumber IOUs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lamborghini. That's a big one. You want to hold on to that.
I wrapped it around a tree after going to the pub.
Yeah.
Why is the city evacuated? Where are all the people?
Where did they go? Why did they How did they evacuate the city? When did they even radio into the city?
And there's cars. The people didn't take their cars. They stopped driving the cars. There's plenty of room for these cars. It's not like, oh, God, traffic was so bad. There's like a car just parked in the middle of the fucking intersection. And people like, all right, get out of the car, kids. The city's being evacuated and we don't have room for the car.
The cars that will drive us away from here.
Gotta leave them behind.
So
Too much
713 like calls into City Hall, is like, you need to evacuate. And they're like, who is this? We're Organization 713, clandestine. And then they hung up right there. Click. Are they evacuating the city? No, they hung up on us 3 times and I just gave up.
I don't think they believe that we're who we are. Who are we? Oh.
Who are we?
Good point.
Do we have any official documents? No.
Nobody's got a business card. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Well, Miles did, but they were in his front pocket.
Yeah, Miles.
And based off the look of that body,
he got pretty messy. Why did we put Miles in charge of business cards? That was our
Miles
only
really
authority.
fucked us.
We don't have badges. We got business cards. Vistaprint. And then they're like, whoa, we're all by ourselves. And then the camera runs up fast style, like Sam Raimi shot. And I think they get eaten.
No, I can't tell. So I didn't notice, and I watched it twice. The evacuation title, I think, just gets added in there because the movie insinuated to me that they are not left behind, or they're left behind and everybody else got raptured. Like everyone's gone now.
Like really raptured?
Yeah.
Like the rapture.
Like the door opened, the monsters come out, the rapture happens, they're left behind.
Huh. I think everybody got evacuated, Sam, as the movie tells us.
But then, so they just go to a bar and get housed and pass out face down.
No, they
there.
walk around the streets, and then the Sam Raimi cam comes up, and they both look back and go, ah! And I think they get eaten. And that's how the movie ends.
Because there is a bunch of monsters everywhere else, too.
There is?
Like, 713 didn't kill any of the monsters that were outside, really. They got killed by them. So what happens to those monsters?
Yeah, I guess
they did not get exploded.
Yeah,
there's like
true.
100 fucking monsters.
But it's
or
daytime.
500
it's
minus
fucking
12.
Daytime. The monsters can't be out during the day.
Unless they're hybrid human parkour guys.
God damn it. No, those guys are all dead.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
I only saw like 6 of them die, and there was at least 19.
No, there's 18 because one of them's Christian Slater.
Well, I thought he was
there's
20 and
19.
there was 19.
He was number
left.
20.
Right. And then that guy, the bald guy, died. That puts you down to 18. And then there's the shootout at Christian Slater's house. I think like 18 of those guys died. They were not good at fighting.
No, they weren't.
They got shot up pretty good. There was one shot where 3 of them jumped down from a ledge and all 3 of them got shot in minute. That's just one guy and he took out 3 of them. So I think they all dead. I don't know what gets them. Guess we'll have to watch Alone in the Dark too, right, Jackie?
An evacuation bus. We were running behind. Oops.
It sucks. Oh my God. My first question is why? Why any of it? Why does any of this happen? Because what possible reason does Dr. Professor Hutchins have to get millipedes into the bodies of children? What is the point?
To rebuild the world in his own twisted way.
And get killed by them?
Monsters. And get killed. Well, no, he injected himself with them, so they're buddies now.
So it's Ripley where she's pregnant. The monster won't eat you because...
Beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, beautiful butterfly. Right. Okay. All right. Now we're starting to make some sense here, guys. The blood scene has now been accounted for. The injection is to get get the coyote piss on you so that the coyotes are like, yeah, gooble gobble, one of us.
Well, and it also kind of gives him some strength powers, right?
Does it?
And yeah, because when he goes to go, I mean, he's an old fucker, and he goes to the house and he's like strangling the other guy like pretty fast.
Sort of. He's just choking him enough to get the millipede in his mouth. Doesn't kill him.
Well, I know, but shut up.
Pins him down. But he did also go down that huge ladder, and that's tough.
Those are tall ladders.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you're going down, it's a lot of hand strength, arthritis. Oh, man. Then you fall off the back of it.
The down is harder on your wrists and your ankles.
Yeah. So, and he had the intention of climbing back up that ladder if everything went right. So, yeah, maybe he's got a little super strength there, Jackie.
So that would then lead me into why didn't he put an elevator in there? Because it seems like he's been working down there for a long time.
There's equipment down there. How would it get
down there? He's
got
a whole laboratory. He's got it sectioned off. He's got little inside jokes like, in fact, my assistant's going to read this in a Valley Girl voice, and it's going to be hilarious.
God damn it. No, it doesn't make a lick of sense without an elevator. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So an army of zombies to do his bidding. That's it.
Okay, it worked, Dr. Hutchins. Now what? I don't know.
Exactly. I guess.
Profit.
Release the beasts of hell that live under the earth that may be from another dimension.
Sure. They're like, well, now the world is mine. Have you seen how fucked up it is?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, doing just fine on our own here, bud. I don't understand. All right. Somebody else. Questions. See if we can get something else figured out.
So where the hell did the monsters that are outside the door come from?
The only thing I can think of is that opening crawl is that the door was opened by the abacus and then they disappeared, and it doesn't say anything about them closing the door before they disappeared. So like,
well, they did survive long enough to shove one of them into a gold box.
Right. The gold box.
So that's where the first one comes from. And then he starts humping strays, and it's just fucking over from there.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
No, because the children have been implanted with the symbiotes long before he finds the golden box.
Correct. So
where the fuck did those come from? Because they're the monsters, mostly.
This is true.
And the sand snake. Or sand.
Well, the sand snakes are just unrelated monsters.
Okay.
I think that are just in the sand down there.
All right. I don't think I can help you, Uwe, on that one.
No.
Where do they come from? They can't be out
and if
there.
They come from anywhere. Why do you need to open the door?
Why do you need to open the door? Let them out.
His breeding program
They're
would have
really
worked
bored.
out fine over 20 years.
Yeah. God damn it. Oh, my God. So stupid. Jackie, question?
So, if the town is evacuated and these things are still out there, do they just keep evacuating like the next town over? Like they've got a guy with a blowhorn and they're like, I see one.
Yep.
And then that guy gets detonated.
Uh-huh.
But they are able to evacuate the next town over? Because it doesn't seem like killing them is really working out.
Yeah. So then, and eventually they reach the border wall, because that's where you're going to run to is Mexico. And then they just stand there, and then this like kind of handsome guy shows up on a horse, and he's like, we got to get you guys out of here. And so then they all get on boats, but they're getting like murdered as the monsters are coming at him. He's like, my God. And then those murdered people become monsters, and he's like, I'm going to have to face. And one of them stands and looks at him, and he's like really pale, and he's like, ugh. And then those guys march to the border wall, and they're like, how are we going to get past it? And the head monster guy's like, don't worry about it. I've got a fucking dragon. And the dragon like tears down the wall, and then now they're coming in, and like everybody's got to like work together to defeat the monsters that are coming in from the south.
They're also just like monsters that like dark places, and so like the dragon and the guy get over there, and they're like, how'd you guys get over here? And they're like, there's like 1,000 fucking tunnels. We just took those.
Why? That's a good point, Sam. Why do they need the fucking dragon to tear down the wall in the north? There's a fucking tunnel that goes through it. Like one giant happened to die there. Sure, he's not clogging up the whole path. The fucking White Walkers could have just gone through there at any point in time.
They're really like magical and powerful. They probably just jump over the fucking thing.
The whole wall?
Why not? Climb up it or something.
They could have probably climbed. But then they got the dead horses too. Horses can't go up the wall unless they like
ropes,
tow them up. Do what do you call it? Pulley.
They've also
a pulley, and then
like
unliving dead horse getting pulled up a wall just looks silly. You can't do that.
They also are mystical creatures that can't build boats.
It's true. They
can't build boats.
Stannis has
no fucking problem getting there.
Why can't they get in the ocean and just walk around the fucking wall?
You can walk around the outside of it.
The White Walkers might be stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's well, Jackie. That answers that question. Always go to Westeros. All your answers will be found in Westeros. The North remembers.
So I have my last question.
Yeah.
What does Edward Canby do now?
He's dead.
No, Edward.
He's not.
He's
Christian
dead.
Slater.
He gets eaten.
Oh yeah, they go. Oh no.
Ah!
I guess I can't tell.
Yeah, I think he's dead.
I mean, if he's not dead, then yeah, they're spending a couple of hot nights in a pub, and then they kind of get bored with that after they run out of the beer that they like.
Mm-hmm.
So they just go around pub hopping because the monsters have already left this town.
Oh yeah,
right? They're like, oh, there's no more people here.
They're chasing people down the wall. Yeah,
right. So they're totally safe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going around eating pretzels and peanuts and drinking beer at the different establishments around town.
Yeah. Little pub crawl, little national pub crawl. Good thing we started in Philly, baby. Yeah. No, but they're dead. They don't make it. Unless it was one of those Amazon drones.
So then let's get to the motivation of
the camera was actually one of those. It's a Tesla. It's a self-driving Tesla. Ah! Okay. Yes, Sam.
So are they hell monsters, ancient aliens, or extra-dimensional creatures?
Extra dimensional.
But it's a door to a fucking cave.
Right.
So it's not another dimension. It's a door to a fucking cave.
Maybe the cave is in another dimension. It's just dimensions suck. Like, that place sucks. It's just a cave.
I feel like they're ancient aliens because there's star maps at some point.
There is star maps, but that's just your software.
They don't lean into demons. There's not like any bigger ones, so there's no hierarchy of monsters.
There's no hierarchy, correct.
They're just, what are they going to do? What's their end game? Just eat everything and die?
Yeah. Better than being in that cave. That cave sucked, man.
How do they live in the cave if they can't eat everything and then
they're super bored. This movie sucks.
What are they doing in there?
This movie blows, man. I don't know if you guys knew that, but this is a bad one. Yeah, it doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense what they're doing in there. They're just climbing around. They're like ants. They're just like, just going all over the place and like going up the stalactite and then down the stalactite and then up the stalactite over and over and over again. That's what they do. They just crawl around. They suck. Their home sucks. Everything sucks. I'm saying definitive answer. They're from an extra dimension and that extra dimension blows.
Sucks.
So they're like, anything is better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that it? You had one more, Sam, that you wrote down.
No, that was the big one. What the fuck are they doing in there?
Yeah, nothing. Final recommendations. I'll go first.
Wait, no, the doctor got killed with a knife, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In
because
theory,
I missed him dying both times.
In theory, could you kill that bald guy with a fucking knife? Fuck no, you couldn't have. Unless you got him right in the spine.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's right. He's not fucking dead. He's totally fine.
Well, we don't know that he has a host.
He's got superhuman. He's got the blood.
Yeah, he's fine.
Got
he's
the
totally
blood
fine.
of the one, but that doesn't mean that he's got a host on his back.
No, but maybe the which would you rather have? The blood of one of the big ones in your veins or a fucking millipede on your back?
I don't think a knife cuts it.
I don't think a knife cuts it. Maybe if he got shot a bunch of times like the other ones, he'd be like, ugh. But a knife? I don't know. That's just a guy. Guys go down by knives. I don't know about guy monster hybrid. If a chuck knife is going to take him down. So no, I think he's okay.
So he just, but I mean, I guess he got exploded, maybe.
Yeah, he got burned up pretty good, probably.
I don't fucking know.
Final recommendations. I'll go first. This is a tough one. It's super bad, and I mean, you kind of need to see it. It's so fucking bad. It's just, if it wasn't so draggy in the middle. Actually, it's not the middle. It's the end. The climax is draggy. The whole fight with the 713 is kind of fucking boring. The thing that I actually liked in this movie was the dialogue. The dialogue is so bad and like trying to explain its own plot. I was having a good time trying to keep up with all the bullshit that they were talking about that I couldn't fucking figure out that when it came time for the actual action. I was like, get this fucking action out of here. I want to go back to the bullshit setup that they couldn't fucking do. So it's a tough call, but I'm going to say do and try to figure it out. Jackie.
Do not.
Okay.
I tried to fall asleep 4 times during this movie and had to take a lunch break and took several smoking breaks during this movie. It was really hard for me to not want to just close my eyes and go to bed. It was just so, and I mean, I'd just gotten up. So I was like, there's no reason I should have been tired, but this movie just physically sucked the life out of me. And I wasn't bored or anything, but it was just so terribly paced that, I mean, it could have been half of the time and it would have been a pretty good time. But the way that it was shot and how dark it was, I couldn't see anything and it just pissed me off real bad. And so I'm just going to give it a no.
Okay. All right. Sammy.
I agree, and I think I'm going to further state that the action never really gets any worse. It's just that much mediocre action wears you out.
Yeah.
You're tired of it by the end of the movie. Yeah. It doesn't need to be 2 hours long.
No, it does not. And it wasn't. It was an hour and a half, Sam. But it felt like 2 hours.
It fucking, are you sure?
I'm pretty Sure.
I thought it was over. I was actually like, oh, I'm glad nobody vetoed this. This is too long.
Oh my God. It was the IMDb says it's 136. So if Prime is running a different cut.
God.
Yeah, it just felt that way.
Oh my God. 96 minutes?
Felt like 3 days.
Yeah, I
That's
told you,
not
dude.
too long.
later.
Jesus, the action wears you out.
It's just
I mean, I was doing the "Are we there yet?" to Justin. How much more time is left in this thing to make him pull the menu up so I could try to talk myself into the next 10 minutes?
see that, and that's what's the crazy thing about this movie is, and why you have to see it, because this is a clinic on what not to do in film.
Oh, yes.
Usually we would say the opposite, like, God, the parts where there's not action was so boring that it was just like, fuck, something needs to happen. But the problem with this movie is the reverse. The action is so shitty that you're like, fucking knock it off. God damn it, enough of this shit. Get back to the boring people talking about dumb shit. That doesn't make sense. You're really bad at directing action when you bore the audience with action. It's called action, not nap.
I can't believe this is only 6 minutes over 90. This is incredible. Wow.
Oh my God.
Because it's not too long. I mean, it's like you can't really cut anything else out, I guess. Wow.
Because the crazy thing is while I was writing down notes, like at 3/4 of the movie, I'm like, holy shit, I'm filling up pages. This is going to be a long podcast. It's still going to be a long podcast. But by the time the climax happens, I was like, oh, thank God, man. I was starting to run out of pages. I'm glad nothing is happening now so I can actually get through this movie on one notebook. That's bad.
It's bad.
Nothing happened during the action sequences.
I had a lot of notes
Miles,
for a 90.
and we're told to care about Miles. And I don't know who the fuck Miles was.
And Marco. Who the fuck are these guys?
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a do because of how little sense it makes. It's up there with Dreamcatcher. What was the one that we just did? Silent with Rucker Hauer?
Split second.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah, split
second. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Makes none sense.
At all.
None.
So it's like almost required reading or required viewing at that point.
If you're a
fan
fan
then it was on the bottom 100 for what, like 8 years?
Yeah, if you're a fan of Nonsensical November, then definitely. That's it. I think that's all. No, we've still got, 2 weeks left or 1 week, because we're not going to be recording in 2 weeks. We'll actually be in Boise visiting Sam. So next week on the show is, I guess, Jackie's pick.
And we're still in Nonsensical November?
Yeah, you get 2 this
Or you
month.
can Thanksgiving shift,
we can do
because
it,
we've all done a nonsense.
Oh, yeah, the Thanksgiving
too.
movies that we always have so much success finding. There's 2 of them.
I'm just saying, she's usually the one that picks them. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Sam. I'm gonna pick a Thanksgiving movie, but
I will attempt to pick a Thanksgiving movie.
So just be ready, Sam, to get blasted with a lot of, how about this one? And then Justin going, no, we're not doing
We're
that
not
one.
fucking doing planes, trains, and automobiles, okay? Get off it. All right. Have a great week, guys.
Didn't we have listener feedback?
No, we do not. They don't write us anymore. They hate us. They especially hate us now that you made us.
Well, then write us, damn it.
Write us, dicks, or you're fucked. Have a great week, guys. Get to the chopper.